Hello, I will be talking about the course summary of ESOC 150. Module 1, Digital Identity and Footprints. For this module, we had a discussion post as well as a lecture turn about digital identity and footprint. This subject is very familiar to me, so I already understood most of what was being taught. The discussion was for us to respond to the TED Talks assigned to us, and what I found most interesting about this was curating your feed to align with your goals and how people use social media as a source of political information. Module 2, Truth, Lies, and Timing. For this module, we were taught the impact of fake or fabricated information in media, as well as principles of design. We had 2 discussion posts, and the first one was for us to respond to a TED Talk as well, which was about deepfakes. What I found the most interesting about them was the idea of using deepfakes to almost revive dead relatives. I think this is a little weird and probably is best if it isn't done, but to each their own. And I also found the difference between using AI to edit deepfakes and using AI to create deepfakes interesting as well. The second discussion post was to review Mayer's principle of multimedia design. The 2 principles I chose were the multimedia principle, which states people learn better when there's more types of media, such as images, videos, text, stuff like that. I also focused on the spatial continuity principle, which states if, for example, you have a picture and it relates to a piece of text, you want those kind of close together so that people learn better. This module also included a group project where we had to come up with our own fake news and create a website about it. This project required learning to navigate Google Sites and applying the principles of multimedia design we learned earlier. Before this, my group had created a group contract to make sure everyone stayed on track. We used this contract to delegate tasks and lay rules for communication. Module 3, Attention, Accuracy, and Circulation. This module was mostly about how information online, old or new, can circulate and cause the cancellation of those who posted it. The discussion post for this module was to create a movie review through Padlet. For this, I had to navigate and learn how to use Padlet, put together pictures and different websites related to the movie I chose to review, and summarize and give my opinion on the movie, which was Trainspotting by Danny Boyle. Very good movie, by the way. There was also a group project addressing someone who was canceled. This includes what they did to get canceled, how it impacted their career, and the result of this. For this project, my group decided to cover David Dobrik and how he got canceled. This required researching the entire timeline of how things played out in his cancellation, which was honestly quite a lot. He did do a lot of things that really weren't that great. I also had to learn how to use Canva, as I've never done it before this class, and how to work the animations. Module 4, Online Communities. This module was about online communities and how they come to be. Usually these communities are brought together by a hobby or an interest they all share. This can be sewing, baking, Star Wars, really anything. The discussion post we had was to respond to another TED Talk assigned for us to watch. The points that stood out to me most were how social media can influence our thoughts and emotions through showing us content they know will upset us and possibly cause to engage. This is stuff like rage baiting, that kind of thing. Another point that interested me was the ethical responsibilities of companies to control harmful content, such as misinformation or anything encouraging violence. This module's project was to make a presentation teaching our classmates how to do something. It could be how to draw, sew, make origami, etc. My group decided to teach the class how to make cupcakes. To do this, we all met up at one of our apartments and made a video describing and showing all the steps. We edited a bunch of these clips together to make a YouTube style DIY video, and it was honestly quite fun. Module 5 Professional Social Media. This module covered the professional side of social media. This includes things like LinkedIn and online resumes. For this module's discussion, I had to describe an application process. I chose to go with my applications to colleges. I described my experience in writing the essays and cover letters, which I mentioned caused anxiety due to believing I didn't have anything really groundbreaking to write about. I haven't faced much adversity in my life, and so I felt like I really didn't have enough content to talk about. You know what I mean? That my story was too baseline. This module's project was to create a character. We had to describe their personality, achievements, and create their cover letter. For this project, my group decided to create a character that was a fairy. She's good at making matcha or any coffee or tea related type drinks. Her achievements included creating her own flavor pairings and perfecting a frothed matcha. Her jobs were being a cafe artist, creating all of these coffee and tea things. And that was it. Thank you for listening.